Hello students, welcome to Youth Zone TV. This is Youth Zone Commerce Class episode 2 edition, and of course we are looking at business maths episode 1. You watch it and you enjoyed it. Today we are continuing with another business maths question in episode 2, and before we go to the question, I would like to acknowledge our sponsors, Hit Market GH, and then Extreme Multimedia for partnering this program, and of course Youth Zone GH for organizing particular program. I would like to introduce one gentleman to you. He happened to be a student of Morley Senior High School. You can join me, gentlemen. You can join me. Um, he's a student of Morley Senior High School. Not just a student. He is the chief officer of Morley Senior High School. He is the. Okay, you can come closer to me. Good, good. So, or you are scared, eh? All right. COVID-19. All right. So he is the chief officer of Morley Senior High School. In other school, you call them your school prefect. He's that, and then of course he's part of Youth Zone platform. One of the class prefects. We have so many class prefects. He's one of them, helping so much, controlling the class for us on our WhatsApp platforms. So we thank you very much for coming and passing through. Thank you very much. All right. So now let's get to the question. A man bought N articles for S series each. He sold P of them for S plus 2 Ghana series each, and then the remainder for S plus 1 Ghana series each. Then they are asking us to find his profit in terms of P and N. And also, if N is 800,000, P is 640,000, and then X is 50, then they are asking us to express his profit as a percentage of the cost. So looking at the first thing they ask us to do, they say we should find his profit in terms of P and N. And when you talk about profit, what comes into your mind? We are talking about cost price and we are talking about selling price. Now, the formula for finding profit is selling price minus cost price. So how do we get our selling price? How do we get our cost price? That is what the question is asking us to do. So now let's get to the solution. Now, looking at the cost price, because they said he bought N articles for S Ghana series each, it means that you are going to use our N to multiply our S. That will give us our cost price. So when you use N to multiply S, you should be getting NS, and our NS represents our cost price. So I hope you are okay with the cost price. Getting your cost price, the figure itself is not given, so let's just assume the figure, let's just assume our N is 50. Let's say 50 articles or 50 oranges, let's say for 1 CD. I'm just giving a scenario. Then to get the each, so to get the actual cost price, meaning you are going to use your 50 to multiply your 1, which will be 50. Is that not it? That was your cost price. But over here, there's no figure. So we just assume we just have N and S. We are playing around with variables. We are playing with alphabets. So N times S will give you NS. That's our cost price. Now let's come to selling price. Talking about selling price, they are saying that he sold P of them for S plus 2 Ghana cedis. He sold P of them for S plus 2 Ghana cedis each. That's what they told us. So, and then the remainder, so meaning the selling price, you are going to look at two things. The first instance where he sold it for S plus, he sold P for S plus 2 Ghana cedis each. And then the remainder at what? S plus 1 Ghana cedis each. So, now, let's get to the selling price of where they sold it at P for S plus 2 Ghana cedis. So you just use your P to multiply the amount. And the amount is S plus 2 cedis. So it's going to be P times S plus 2. So that is for when you are talking about a P. Part of it. When they say he sold P, meaning you are saying that he sold part of it. Let's say 50 oranges and he sold 30 out of it. So the P, let's say, is 30. So meaning that's just part of it. So the remainder is what we are going to look at. And the remainder, with the analogy I am drawing, then it means that when we say that the P is 30, meaning when you take 30 from 50, you should be getting 20. So over here, applying what the analogy I've just given to you, then our N, which represents the 50, then is going to be N minus P, which is 50 minus 30. That is the remaining orange. But over here, getting back to the question, then the remaining number of articles is going to be N minus P, which means the total cost of the article, I mean the total article and the number of article, and then looking at the one that remain when you take the p out of it. So it's going to be n minus p. I hope you get it right. Get me right. Good. Now, for the remaining is going to be n minus p. Now, how do we get the selling price for the remaining? We know that the remaining article is n minus p. So, to get the remaining, you are going to use your n minus p, which to multiply your s plus 1, which is the amount. So, because they say each, so we are going to use it to multiply it. So when you look at, you'll be having the selling price is going to be, for the remaining one, is going to be n minus p in a bracket on its own, then s plus 1, which is the amount. Because they say each. So which is the amount, that one also in another bracket. So the selling price for the remaining is n minus p, then in the bracket, then s plus 1 also in another bracket. Now let's look at the total selling price, because the selling price is divided into two parts, where they sold p and then after that they sold the remaining, which means the p, let's say they sold part of it and then the remaining. So to put the part of it and the remaining that they sold together, that's what you are going to do. So for the part of it, which is the p, you will be having the figure, the solution or the final answer that we had for it was p into bracket s plus 2, bracket close. So that's what you'll be bringing. Then plus the remaining one. When we solve for the remaining one, we had n minus p, then in the bracket on its own, then s plus 1 also in another bracket on its own. So that is what you'll be doing. So now, to the total selling price, how are we going to get it? You are going to expand the bracket. How do you expand the bracket? You apply how to use multiplication of two binomials that you have been doing in commerce. You just apply, you just expand the bracket. And in doing that, first let's expand the bracket from where the p is. So you use the p to multiply s. So when you use p to multiply s, you should be getting ps. And when you use p to multiply 2, you should be having 2p. Don't say p2. No. Always the figure counts before the alphabet. So it's 2p. Then over there, you are going to use your n to multiply the s. So the n times the s will give you ns. And of course, any number multiplied by 1 is the same number. So anything you multiply with 1, you are going to get the same thing. So we are done with using n. Then using minus p. You are using minus p to multiply s. So when you use minus p to multiply s, you should be getting minus ps. And also minus p times 1 should be giving you the same minus p. Good. So over here, now let's look at it. Let's group them proper. We have, but before we go to the grouping, let's look at something. We have positive ps and we have minus ps. So the positive ps and then the minus ps, they cancel out. So when they cancel out, we will be having 2p plus ns plus n minus p. Then now we have 2p and then we have minus p. The minus p over here, we are talking about the p, the minus p is having a coefficient of minus 1, but we don't say minus 1p. Mathematically, it is not correct. So we don't say minus, but we all know that minus 1 is the coefficient of p. So when you take minus 1 from 2, or when you say we do it 2 minus 1, you should be getting 1. So we'll be having 1p, and we don't say 1p, but you just say p. You don't say 1p, you say p. So 2p minus p will give you p. So with that, we'll be having our p, then we'll be having our n that is left, and then our ns is also left. So the total selling price so far is into bracket p plus n, then plus ns cedis. That is the total selling price. We know our cost price to be ns. We know our selling price, the total selling price to be p plus n plus ns cedis. So if that is the case, then we can now solve the question. Now let's continue. So to continue, we will see that we have profit, which is selling price minus cost price. We know the formula for profit is selling price minus cost price. So we already know our selling price from the beginning. We know our selling price, which is p plus n minus ns. You know why we had that. And then we also know our cost price from the beginning, which is ns. We all know that. So in place of the selling price, we put p plus n, then plus ns, then minus the cost price. And the cost price is nx. Good. Then now, in doing this, you just take the bracket away, Then you'll be having P plus N plus NS minus NS. Then we have plus NS and then minus NS. So the plus NS and then the minus NS, they cancel out. So when they cancel out, you'll be having N plus P. And of course, you in the bracket, you'll be seeing P plus N. You know N comes before P when you are, I mean, talking about alphabet, your A, B, C, D, N comes before P. So N plus P. Then now, we have solved the first part. So when they say we should establish his profit in terms of P and N, we are talking about N plus P, because your selling price minus your cost price, when you play around with the alphabet, the final answer you should be getting over there is N plus P. Now let's get to the other part of the question where they are telling us to find the percentage profit. They say we should find the percentage profit. So talking about the percentage, talking about that, this is what you are going to do. We know percentage profit. The formula is profit over cost price times 100. Profit over cost price times 100. That is the formula for finding percentage. I mean, talking about the profit percentage, that is the formula. So what is our profit? We already know our profit to be N plus P. Why is it N plus P? Selling price minus cost price, and we have done it from the top where we have N plus P as our profit over the cost price. What is our cost price? Our cost price is what? NS. We already know it from the beginning of the question that our cost price is NS, then times 100%. So they told us that N is 800,000, P is 640,000, and then S is 50. So we are going to substitute this into the formula of how to find profit percent. So in place of the profit, which we have N plus P, any place you see N, you put 800,000. Any place you see P, you put 640,000. And then any place you see S, you put 50. So now let's do that. So our N, which is the profit, we are going to substitute with 800,000, then plus P. And our P, which is given in the question, is 640,000, then over our NS. Our N is 800,000, and then our S is 50. So times 100%. So when you multiply the top, the numerator, which is 800 plus 640,000, you should be getting 1,440,000. That is all you should be getting as, I mean, the numerator over there, the top. Then when you come to the denominator, when you are multiplying your 800,000 by your 50, then you should be getting 40 million. You should be getting 40 million times 100. So when you divide the numerator by the denominator, multiply by 100, which we have 1,440,000 divided by 40 million times 100, you should be getting 3.6%. So this is what they ask you to do. It is not difficult because you see them putting alphabets there, so you are confused. You see how we have solved it. It's very, very simple. If you don't understand something, you can go back, rewind, and listen to it proper. I mean, this is very simple, and this is a question, YUUF question. I mean, it's a past question. When you look at the past question, business math, you will be seeing this question. So business maths, you don't have a choice. Surely you meet it in the exam, and I would like you to always learn business maths questions. Make sure you solve them. Don't say you don't like business maths, because it's a choice. For that one, it's not a choice. It's a must for you to learn. So with this, I want to thank the organizers, Youth Zone GH, for organizing this. And of course, I would like to also thank Hit Market GH for helping us, I mean, to bring this program to you. And then Extreme Multimedia, they are partners. And then Hit Market partners. And of course, our class prefect that just passed through from Molly Senior High School. I'm talking about the chief officer. He's a big man, you know. He's a big man. We are very happy to have him on our platform, Youth Zone GH. I mean, on our platform, Youth Zone Online Class, where he's helping one of the class prefects, Gideon. I'm talking about Gideon Dake. Thank you very much for passing through. I would like to acknowledge some few people talking about the technical team. Mr. Sean David, the director of Youth Zone, helping so much. Talking about Dawet, also helping Regina, helping Morino, Christian Chibueze, also so much helping. And of course, Michelle, the light man. Thank you very much for helping us. And everybody on Youth Zone platform, our class prefect, my lovely students on both the Green Track platform and then the major platforms, the class prefect, everybody, I thank you so much for paying attention to us. And then, see you next time.